Have you ever felt like your mind is working against you? Like there's this invisible force pulling you back every time you try to move forward? You set goals, you make promises to yourself, you wake up determined, and then a few days later, you're right back where you started. Maybe it's doubt creeping in, maybe it's fear disguising itself as logic. Maybe it's that voice in your head saying, "Who do you think you are?" Here's what most people don't realize. Your mind isn't broken. It's untrained. See, we spend years learning how to work, how to socialize, how to function in the world. But nobody teaches us how to master our own minds, how to build mental clarity when chaos surrounds us, how to stand firm when everything inside us wants to quit. And that's exactly what we're going to change today. Because the difference between someone who breaks through their limits and someone who stays stuck isn't talent. It's not luck. It's not even circumstance. It's mental mastery. And mental mastery isn't some mystical gift reserved for a chosen few. It's a skill, a discipline, a code you build brick by brick until your mind becomes your most powerful ally instead of your greatest enemy. Today, I'm going to share with you the 7 secrets to mental mastery, principles that have transformed ordinary people into unstoppable forces. These aren't quick fixes. These aren't motivational band-aids. These are foundational truths that, when applied consistently, will reshape how you think, how you act, and ultimately, who you become. So if you're ready to stop being at war with yourself and start building the mental fortress you were always meant to have, stay with me. Your transformation starts right now. Before we dive into the secrets, you need to understand something critical. Real change doesn't happen from the outside in. It happens from the inside out. Most people approach personal growth like they're decorating a house. They try to change their appearance, their environment, their routines, thinking that if they just rearrange the furniture, everything will feel different. But here's the truth. You can't build a strong house on a weak foundation. Mental mastery is about going deeper. It's about constructing something unshakable at your core. It's about training your mind the same way you train your body, with intention, with consistency, with discipline. Think of yourself as an inner builder. Every thought you choose to focus on, that's a brick. Every fear you decide to face, that's reinforcement. Every small promise you keep to yourself, that's the mortar that holds it all together. And here's what separates the builders from the dreamers. Builders don't wait for motivation. They show up anyway. They understand that mental strength isn't built in moments of comfort. It's forged in the quiet, unglamorous hours when no one's watching, when your body wants to quit, when your emotions are screaming at you to give up, when it would be so much easier to just stop. But you don't, because you're building something permanent. The method I'm about to share with you isn't sexy. It's not a 30-day challenge. It's not a viral trend. It's a lifelong commitment to becoming someone who doesn't break under pressure, someone who doesn't crumble when life gets hard, someone who stands tall even when the ground beneath them is shaking. This is the way of mental mastery, and it starts with understanding that your mind isn't your enemy. It's just untrained. And today, you begin the training. Let me tell you about Marcus. At 35, Marcus was a high performer on paper. Good job, good income. From the outside, he looked like he had it all together. But inside, he was drowning. Every morning he'd wake up with this crushing weight on his chest, anxiety, self-doubt, the constant feeling that he was one mistake away from everything falling apart. He'd lie in bed, scrolling through his phone, delaying the inevitable, facing another day where he felt like an imposter in his own life. He tried everything: therapy, self-help books, meditation apps, motivational videos, and sure, they'd give him a temporary boost. He'd feel inspired for a few days, maybe even a week. But then, like clockwork, he'd crash back down. The problem wasn't that Marcus lacked knowledge. He knew what he should be doing. The problem was that his mind had become a battlefield, and he kept losing every fight. Then one night, after another breakdown, something shifted. He didn't find some magical solution. He didn't stumble upon a secret technique. Instead, he made a simple decision. I'm going to stop trying to feel better and start training my mind to be stronger. The next morning, instead of reaching for his phone, Marcus did something different. He sat on the edge of his bed, closed his eyes, and spent just 3 minutes in silence. No meditation app, no guided audio, just silence. That was it. 3 minutes. And you know what? His anxiety didn't disappear. His self-doubt didn't vanish. But something else happened. He proved to himself that he could sit with discomfort without running from it. That one small act became his foundation. The next day, he did it again, and the day after that. And slowly, over weeks and months, Marcus wasn't just sitting in silence anymore. He was building mental resilience. He started adding more practices: cold showers, journaling, delayed gratification. None of them were revolutionary on their own, but together, they transformed him. Today, Marcus still faces pressure. He still has hard days. But the difference is this: his mind no longer controls him. He controls his mind. And that's what mental mastery looks like. It's not about eliminating struggle. It's about becoming unshakable in the face of it. All right, let's get into the first secret: Shoshin, the beginner's mind. In Japanese Zen philosophy, Shoshin means approaching everything with openness, eagerness, and without preconceptions, even if you're experienced. Here's why this matters for mental mastery. Your biggest enemy isn't failure, it's thinking you already know everything. When you believe you've figured it all out, your mind closes. You stop learning, you stop adapting. You become rigid, and rigid things, they break under pressure. But when you maintain a beginner's mind, you stay curious, you stay flexible, you stay open to new perspectives, new strategies, new ways of thinking. Marcus learned this the hard way. For years, he thought he knew what his problem was. I just need to be more disciplined. But that mindset kept him stuck because he wasn't open to the real issue. He needed to rebuild his relationship with discomfort. So here's your first challenge. What belief about yourself are you so attached to that it's keeping you from growing? Maybe it's, I'm just not a morning person, or I'm bad at handling stress, or I've tried everything, nothing works for me. Let that belief go. Approach your growth like a beginner, like you're discovering yourself for the first time. Because the moment you release the need to be right about who you are, you create space to become someone greater. Now, the second secret: misogi, the ritual of purification. In ancient Japanese tradition, misogi is a cleansing ritual, often involving standing under a freezing waterfall to purify the body and spirit. But here's the deeper meaning for mental mastery. You must regularly purge your mind of what no longer serves you. Think about it. Every day, Your mind collects garbage, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, other people's opinions, past failures, regrets, resentments. And if you don't intentionally clear that out, it builds up. It becomes mental clutter. And eventually, you're carrying so much weight that you can't move forward. Misogi teaches us to create a ritual, a practice that cleanses the mental and spiritual noise. For Marcus, his misogi was those 3 minutes of silence. For you, it might be journaling, dumping all your thoughts onto paper to see them clearly, a weekly review, reflecting on what went well, what didn't, and what to let go. A physical challenge, like a long run or a cold shower to reset your nervous system. The key is this: make purification a non-negotiable part of your routine. Because mental mastery isn't just about building strength. It's also about releasing what weakens you. Secret number 3, gammon, enduring the unbearable with dignity. This is one of the most powerful concepts in Japanese culture. Gammon means enduring difficulty with patience and dignity without complaining. It's not about suffering for the sake of suffering. It's about recognizing that some battles can't be avoided. They can only be endured. And how you endure them defines you. Let me be honest with you. Life is going to test you repeatedly. There will be days when everything feels heavy, when your progress stalls, when people doubt you, when your own mind betrays you. And in those moments, you have 2 choices. 1, complain, blame, and spiral. 2, stand firm, endure, and keep moving. Gammon is choosing the second path. It's Marcus sitting in that silence, even when his mind screamed at him to stop. It's showing up to your daily practice even when you don't feel like it. It's staying disciplined when every part of you wants to quit. Because here's the truth. The people who win aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who refuse to let struggle define them. So the next time you face something unbearable, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "How can I endure this with dignity? What can this teach me?" That shift in perspective, that's mental mastery. Let's keep building. Secret number 4, Kaizen, continuous improvement. You've probably heard this one before, but let me reframe it for you. Kaizen isn't about massive changes. It's about 1% improvements, compounded daily. Marcus didn't transform overnight. He started with 3 minutes of silence. Then he added journaling, then cold showers, then better nutrition. Each small step built on the last. And that's the power of Kaizen. Small, consistent actions create exponential results over time. But here's where most people mess up. They expect perfection. They think, if I can't do it perfectly, why bother? Which brings us to secret number 5, wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection. Wabi-sabi teaches us that perfection is an illusion. Progress is what matters. You're going to mess up. You're going to miss a day. You're going to fall back into old patterns. And that's okay. Because mental mastery isn't about never failing. It's about getting back up every single time without judgment. Marcus had days where he skipped his silence practice, days where he felt like he was back at square one. But instead of quitting, he reminded himself, I'm not perfect. I'm just better than I was yesterday. And that mindset, that's what separates those who transform from those who stay stuck. Almost there. 2 more secrets. Secret number 6, Gambaru, doing your best and persisting. In Japanese culture, Gambaru means giving your absolute best effort no matter the outcome. Not giving up when it gets hard, not half-assing it, not making excuses, just showing up, fully committed every single day. Because mental mastery isn't built in moments of inspiration. It's built in the grind, in the repetition, in the discipline to keep going when nobody's watching. And finally, secret number 7, Ikigai, your reason for being. Ikigai is the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can be valued for. But more than that, it's your why. Why are you building this mental fortress? Why are you committed to this path? For Marcus, his Ikigai was clear. I want to be a man my future self is proud of. That became his anchor. On hard days, when his mind tried to convince him to quit, he'd come back to that purpose. So I ask you, what's your Ikigai? What's the fire inside you that refuses to go out? Find it. Write it down. Let it guide you. Because when you have a deep, unshakable reason for your growth, nothing can stop you. Now, let's talk about the hard truth. You're going to fail. Not might, not maybe. You will fail. There will be days when you don't show up, when you break your streak, when you fall back into the exact patterns you swore you'd leave behind. And in that moment, you'll have a choice. You can tell yourself, see, I knew I couldn't do this. I'm just not built for it. Or you can tell yourself, this is part of the process. I'm human. I stumble, but I don't stay down. The difference between those two responses is everything. Mental mastery isn't about avoiding failure. It's about building the resilience to recover from it faster each time. Marcus failed constantly in his first few months. He'd miss his morning practice. He'd spiral into negative thinking. He'd doubt himself all over again. But here's what changed. He stopped seeing failure as evidence of weakness. He started seeing it as data. Okay, I slipped. Why? What triggered it? What can I adjust? No judgment, no shame, just awareness and adjustment. That's the mindset of a builder. So here's what I need you to understand. Perfection is not the goal. Persistence is. You don't need to get it right every single day. You just need to keep showing up, keep building, keep refining. Because every time you get back up, you prove to your mind that you're serious, that you're committed, that you're not going anywhere. And over time, your mind stops resisting. It starts trusting you. It starts working with you instead of against you. That's when everything changes. So here we are. But here's the thing. Knowledge without action is just noise. You can watch this video, feel inspired, and then go back to your life unchanged. Or you can choose differently. You can decide that today is the day you stop being at war with yourself. That today is the day you start building your mental fortress. That today is the day you become someone who doesn't quit. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one secret, just one, and commit to it for the next 7 days. Maybe it's 3 minutes of silence every morning. Maybe it's journaling before bed. Maybe it's a cold shower to train your mind to do hard things. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be consistent. And here's what I want you to do. Comment below and tell me which secret you're committing to and why. Because when you declare it publicly, you create accountability. You make it real. And who knows? Your comment might inspire someone else to start their journey too. Remember this, mental mastery isn't a destination. It's a daily practice, a code to live by, a commitment to becoming unshakable, one small step at a time. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. So stand tall, move with intent, and rise every single day. Your journey to mental mastery begins now. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more motivational content, and share this with someone who needs to hear this message. Together, we rise. Welcome to Crush It and Rise.